flash forward on the ulti, a little bit awkward, trying to get tricky with it, but now just gets caught up anyway. Perfect use of the Petrifying Gaze, and down goes Nuke. They are unstoppable now, flash in full, continuing all out from Irrelevant. That is not what you want to be doing!
Guys, you're coming, guys. Don't overextend. Don't overextend. Leona, it's fine. I have ult, guys. I have ult for after. But don't not up.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Sjokz, standing by with 113 at the Marriott Bonvoy post-game check-in. Congratulations, 113. That is a 2-1 week for BDS. How do you look back on how you've performed with the team in your first week?
I think it was good. I expected us to lose against U2, not Vitality. I ain't gonna lie. Like when we lose the first game, it was a bit tough. But I'm happy to be back here, and I will be permanent here. Hopefully, this year it's not a one-time stay like it was in Astralis. And I hope you guys enjoy my performance and the show I put in.
Yeah, awesome. I think you had a great first week. We hope the same thing. Obviously, you mentioned that you had a stint on Astralis, and that just wasn't probably great for you as it wasn't for the team or what you would have wanted. Do you feel like you're a different player, and how is your approach different from, the last time you entered into the LEC?
I think the last time I was in LEC, I was more like a flippy player. What people call me was a bit true, and the moment I went back to Yaras, the only thing that was on my mind was to go back to LEC. And I tried to be more of a complete player and fix my mistakes, fix my reputation, I would say. And I have a good environment and healthy environment and very better players than it was before now. And I will use this chance to prove myself.
Awesome. Talking about reputation, we know that for players, sometimes it is hard because you get a reputation by playing, and it's hard to shake it because coaches believe it. Maybe it influences the scouting. Is that something that you experienced as well?
Yeah, even when I was out of LEC, I struggled to find a team in ERL because of my reputation, but it is what it is. I'm doing my best to fix it and play good.
Okay. Are you still emoting? And can we just not see it on the Spectre Line, or?
No, I'm not emoting anymore.
Truly reformed. Thank you so much. Congratulations on the 2-1 week. And our key player of the game, it was Nuke, but we'll talk about that at the desk right now.
Thank you, Sjokz, the redemption. Here for 113, who is here to stay, and one-sided victory on this side of BDS here. Of course, we heard that Nuke is a key player of the game. But what did it come down to, GB? Because it feels like even though Rogue was trying, at the initiative, I don't feel like they could do anything.
I mean, one-sided, I think it actually took a little bit for BDS actually to come into that game. They lost the first set of Grops, they lost the Drake, the Kalista still got kills down on the bot side. Not that she got Mega Firehit, but hey, that kill did come through. And then when it finally came to some of the later objectives, and BDS has finally gotten some items, that's why we see the difference in the composition. Yeah. And I'd love to run through a replay here in Art Illustrator if we could, just to break down one of the fights where I think it goes completely wrong for Rogue. And not even because I think they play terrible or anything like that, but as you can see it here, Alex, you have talked about range advantage and all these things quite a bit.
And immediately, the Bards are entering this team fight very hard. You're level down in your AD carry. You're not in the place you want to be here, but getting onto the carries is just really difficult. Yes, they get themselves a good engage, but look how far they have to travel to get there. They have to pull their flashes out. They have to use a lot of tools. And if this fight doesn't end now, there's nothing left, really. Yeah,
and can it really go even better than this? You see an insane ultimate from Larsen. You catch 3 members. It's still not enough. You can't really chase them down with the kills. Adam's been kind of split throughout the entire thing, but coming back into it, they want to start the Dragon. And the reason for that is that if you take a look at the HP bars, right, it's still very clear that there is an HP advantage for the carries right now on Rogue. But as you see as we roll out the clip, it's just not going to matter because Nuke doesn't have to worry about it HP if they can never get onto him. So in a position like this, where Malrang finds an insane ultimate, they try to go for him.
Insult to injury.
Yeah, obviously he's safe by the Cassandra ultimate, but as soon as the Maokai ultimate comes through, Patrick and Larsen can't actually join that fight. The TP over here is going to be way too late before it comes through, and And this is a game changer as well with Paris. He's got a pink ward, he's got a Chemtech Blast Cone, he's going to fly into the back line of the enemy team, he's going to keep them all CC'd up. So despite the fact that the BDH HP bar was so low, it never mattered due to the compositional difference.
Sometimes you can tell a bit of body language through team fighting, and I think this is one where you can really tell they're just really trying to overreach and overstep to get towards those carries. It's difficult. Like it's like when you go on a roller coaster, you got to be like a certain height to get on the ride. It's kind of the team fights here, and they just weren't quite up to the level. It's a bit of a long stretch.
I like it. I like it.
You got to be this tall to ride the mechanical roller coaster.
So as was saying yesterday, that all the teams that have range, as you said, Nymaera, or easier execution are the ones likely to win. Is it a beginning of the season effect because of teams getting used to playing with each other, or is it the optimal way to play right now?
Obviously, it's very complex, and there's a lot of factors into it. I think that champion pools are coming down to it a lot. When we're looking at a lot of our carries right now, they're trying to play the defensive side of saying, well, you can't reach me. If we look at LPL and we look at some of the LCK stuff as well, we're seeing more Akali, which of course Caps did play. We're seeing some stuff like the Vi Ahri compositions, the Wukongs, and teams have been trying bits of that. But when I look at compositions like this, it's just, I see they have a way to get towards the front line, but they are never getting to a flash Hwei in the back line who can outrange you.
Yeah, and I think isolated, it's not even that bad of a draft that you're seeing from Rogue. You could clearly see the win condition for it in the early game. It's just the fact that when it finally comes down to the fact that, well, there is other factors in the league. There is higher range champions. Yeah, Sjokz, you played really well, but you can only play as well as your composition allows you to.
That is actually a really good point as well, because we talk about these team fights a lot. Honestly, why are we even going into the late game with a Kalista and an Olaf? Like, guys, we've got to be able to get more out of that early game
if
as well.
you don't snowball it completely, just like, I mean, they also did snowball very, well, effectively, at least in the beginning. Nuke had that Upsy flash as well that we saw from the mid lane, but I think BDS as a team, they're just coming together as what we know them as. We have seen change up in roster now, but I really like what we're seeing from them in terms of the fact that they're setting up around the objectives and the team fights are becoming their bread and butter.
It got better over the weekend. That's for sure.
It certainly did.
Back to the drawing board for sure. For Rogue here, we'll see them next week. We'll be tossing to a quick break, but afterwards we'll back with more League of Legends. Team Heretics taking on Fnatic. Stay tuned.
He doesn't like that. Look at him, he's a good boy, but he don't like that.
Maybe we could play some A rounds or something like that. I mean, this is map, right? New towers, new objectives.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat. Red Bull gives you wings.
Welcome back to the last day of LEC Week 1 Winter 2025. That's a lot of things. Similar to 25 Season 1.1. We're using just more words in general. This is the name of the game here in 2025 as we enter draft. Team Heretics versus Fnatic. Fnatic, of course, picking up a win against Vitality. Yesterday, Team Heretics taking down SK, and both teams losing in their day 1 matches. We'll see who can come out on top today.
Aurora. Oh, Fnatic evolving the Skarner adaptation to ban it themselves on red side. Looks like there will be no Skarner in this game.
New data for the pool. They lost for Skarner, they won with Skarner. What happens when nobody has Skarner?
This will be the first real test, I feel, as we see Cassante now banned away, Kalista going to be taken away from Upset, and well, I mean, there's still a number of power picks. We've seen the Corki be incredibly effective. Sejuani, Maokai, still very high on the priority list. I will say, Wukong and Viego, I think, considered very powerful. Not the highest priority here in Europe, though. But when we think about Razork as a player, those are the type of champions I feel that he can find a lot of success with. Don't get me wrong, he's had a fair number of Sejuani games throughout his career. But we'll see what he decides to prioritize today. As Heretics looking to grab, to no surprise, the Viktor for Kamiloo. This will be his 3rd Viktor game so far this split.
And has been really solid in the team fights. Of course, I think still you can see some of those rookie tendencies. Not the best recall timings. Sometimes a little bit caught out there on the greedy bases. Sometimes running out in mana.
Oh, the interview he did with Laure, though. He seems like such a sweet,
genuine
guy. I just love the authenticity, the excitement that he showed. His debut here. 1-on-1, great way to start off the split for what is largely a rookie squad, especially when expectations were not incredibly high. The Maokai response coming out from Fnatic seems pretty stock standard. The flexibility that it can provide means that it can go in the support, jungle, or top lane position, as it looks like they're going to secure the Varus for themselves as well.
And I like the Varus in general, right? Both builds feel decently viable right now, which means it's easier to put him in a wide variety of compositions. But see what the angle is here for Team Heretics. Perhaps more team fighting power, maybe a bit more priority on the Wukong that you mentioned before. But so far, pretty stock standard, right? I don't think either side giving away too much about their compositions. Is Ivern, a tree v tree.
Yeah, it's a battle of the forests.
Yeah.
As Heretics, I imagine they'll look to lock in their AD carry here. Yeah, Corki does make a lot of sense.
This is a really good first 3 champions.
Yep. And the Rell response, all right. So Rell seems to be the go-to in Europe. Right now you can see 5 wins, 4 losses. So pretty 50-50 on the success of the champion. Alistair is usually the go-to. I wonder if Fnatic will look to ban that one away. They could consider a Braum ban as well. I think Braum has a lot of value against Varus plus Maokai. But supports, supports I think make the most sense here for Fnatic.
Now Alistair taken away, trying to limit one of the conventional options into the Rell. Although Rell, I still think, in general, offering a little bit more. But a very powerful kind of scaling option on the side of Team Heretics. Of course, Corki not the most notorious late game scaler, but when you have an Ivern beside you, it can make things a lot trickier. And now,
makes sense. I was thinking about other mages. Would have been a possibility, something like the Orianna.
Well, Oscar had a pretty solid Rumble game yesterday, so don't want to give them the angle to pair it with a Yone again.
Yeah, it's a good point, actually. If you limit the AD mid's an option, especially when you've already got a Maokai, you can make things a little bit harder. Maybe they look to ban away the Jayce instead. Or maybe Ambessa. We've seen her flexed into the mid lane a few times, with the Jax being banned away on the side of Fnatic. It does suggest that they may be considering flexing it here.
Is the option going to be Carlsen's Jax being banned? Not only did he have that yesterday, but also just received a ton of early game attention. Most of the ganks, most of the effort in terms of map plays coming in from Team Heretics were focused around his lane.
Return of Humanoid's Hwei. He was one of the early adopters of the champion upon its release into pro play. Definitely proficient on it. One of his preferred. We'll say that win-loss does need to be updated a little bit after the success we did just see on Nuke in the previous game. But
I would love this. I think this is insanely good against their comp.
Roaming Bard.
But they're not going to pick it.
They need a little bit more engaged, Drakos.
Fun is banned in pro play, and we must all play engaged supports. Handshake every time. Obviously, Bard. High ceiling, very low floor, though. The Leona, much more of a reliable option.
You're probably closer to the floor than the ceiling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I almost lost a friend to Bard ulting him in mid-Yassi vault, and he lost his promos.
I'll never forget your one punch Bob though, one of my favorites.
Yep. Stole all those kills from someone who should have had them. Anyway, back on track.
Renekton gonna be the final lock-in. Ooh, one? I mean,
this was an option that was banned yesterday as well, so I have a feeling that it has shown up at scrims at least a little bit. Oscar on a tank pick with double carry backline threats would be solid, but instead the option is going to be the Jayce. Will it be the tank or the more conventional poke option?
there is Jayce and Unending Despair.
Oh, that is a good call.
Can't do that.
So just for context for everyone, Jayce, specifically Unending Despair, administratively disabled due to some issues in game.
Yeah, so he can build all the other tank items.
But I think with Unending Despair out of the picture, it is a good call out, but he's very likely to be the poke Jayce here.
I mean, look at the poke on the side of Fnatic.
And it's a good call. Poke
imagine,
combined with a Maokai. We saw it last game. We're going to see it again.
Yeah, you imagine that's going to be Lethality Varus. It's all about the range here. And it's not like Heretics don't have decent poke of their own, but I think one of the most valuable things about Ivern is in the team fights, the amount of utility he provides with the Daisy, the shielding, things like Redemption. You build a lot of support items. But if you're just getting chipped away, he doesn't really provide any sustain. He can use his shields to block and mitigate some of that initial damage, but in a war of attrition, Ivern doesn't quite offer the same value.
And I think the big idea with Ivern usually is you have champions that are vulnerable to these all-in moments. You keep them alive, and then the turn on any kind of messy engage is just unstoppable. But you're right, if they keep them at arm's length, that's really not going to be an option. And Viktor notoriously, as is often the case with these control mages, really at his best when you fight into him. But
we cook it.
Team Heretics, 4 members, 5 members on the top side.
This Rell's gonna see the oh, they see the ward, right? They must. The pings have come down.
Always in the area. Battle for the brush.
Yeah, I don't think there's a play here. It looks like that they were trying to anticipate a potential lane swap coming through from Fnatic. They wanted to react and potentially punish on the top side of the map, but Fnatic isn't going to be here.
They saw the ward.
I mean, they should have.
Or they didn't see the ward.
I mean, they thumbs up, which makes me think that they've seen the ward.
It's unclear. We'll need to check the comms. Last time we had early game comms, it was Flakked roasting Yankos for no reason.
What do you mean, no reason? It's Flakked. Of course he had a reason.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. They're friends with cheeky banter, but he just threw it into the void, assuming our production team would catch it.
He knew
and
what
we
he was
did.
doing. Yeah, he knew what he was
ourselves. Yankos isn't even playing anymore. We still roast him.
Poor Yankos. Shout out to him. Hope you're doing well, buddy. So it looks like we're going to get standard lanes, which I think on the top side of the map, Oscar is pretty happy with. Note that he is running Grasp. Now, I will say that rune choice in Europe doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
I have seen every build under the sun running the opposite rune.
So good initial Zenith play there. He's able to tag Upset, does get a solid trade on the level 1. But you're right, the rune choice for Jayce, who knows what it means.
Typically, Grasp should mean tank Jayce. Typically.
Yes.
We had Nymaera run us through the different build paths for Jayce at the top of the show, if you want to go check that out in Ready Check. But yeah, typically Grasp leads to tank Jayce, and a large reason as to why it's viable in the current meta. To make it simple, base stats very high.
Yep.
As Stend gets level 2, doesn't quite connect the stun.
Good play in the 2v2 thus far. Upset obviously starting with the Halo Blades likely indicates that he will be going towards the poke build almost 100%, but can't be sure.
Well, you said, yeah, normally you'd see the comment in the poke build, right? The Halo Blades does suggest that he could be considering the on-hit build. We'll see as the itemization comes through.
The poke trading back and forth with the CC. Stend forced to flash away. Positive trade for the Fnatic bot lane. Team Heretics had a bit of an edge there, but got over-eager in the 2v2. Now it's going to be a little bit harder for Flakked to survive.
I think that's a great way to describe it. They started off very strong in the 2 versus 2, Stend and Flakked, knowing that they had an initial advantage, but then they went for one too many trades, and Mikyx and Upset were quick to punish, so they reclaimed some of that pressure back. Of course, farm advantage still in favor of Flakked. It's Carlsen getting quite low in the top lane.
This is a tough trade.
Doesn't have the weapon swap from Oscar. He's just going to be happy with the flash, not going to greed for anything else. But,
I mean, well played by Oscar. Already dominating this 1v1 matchup. You can see why so much effort was put into on the side of Team Heretics, considering where they wanted their lanes to go. But these early levels are just tough for Carlsen. And the trade ending the way it does, Q in, you get the melee grass proc, then you knock the Renekton away. It's just so difficult for Carlsen to do anything at this point. Is still seeing aggression on the bottom side. Flakked Able to Valk out to safety, but this lane is not getting any easier. Halo Blade's disgustingly powerful in those early short trades, as we might have a 3v3. Nice sidestep from Razork to get away from the root.
They protect the wards. Sheo, I think, will be forced to concede the Scuttle Crab, knowing that Upset and Mikyx just have the health advantage, and Flakked, he's going to be forced to base. In the mid lane as well, Humanoid getting some nice trades. Of course, he was already gone back to base, grabbed himself an Amp Tome. And Kamiloo doing what he can to try and trade. It's always a good idea if you know you have a base advantage to take as much HP from your opposition as possible. And a nice little combo there coming through from Humanoid. Because you can so clearly see, not that TP was difficult to predict in the past, but like that little bar that just slowly channels down makes it easy for you to punish in the tower.
Easy for Hwei to line up that initial bit of poke, as long as you get the timing right. Now,
they're taking some bad trades right now.
Yeah, and the difference in a ruby crystal, excuse me, a sapphire crystal, it just does not mean a lot. Oscar has to be careful here, though. Not sure if he has awareness of Sheo. If the root connects, it's so easy for Carlsen to try and finish the kill here, but Oscarinin level 5, Carlsen very low. Sheo gonna need to burn all of his cooldowns to try to stay standing here. Razork flashing in to try to get that jump done, and now Sheo and Ivern on his lonesome, but no damage to his name. Fnatic happy to just keep pushing.
Sheo, he was there to cover for a potential gank. Unfortunately, Carlsen took way more damage than Sheo could help to mitigate. They get the wave pushed underneath the tower, and it's Fnatic starting off their game with first blood.
This is the tough thing about Jayce. Hold that thought as Stend. Now gonna go for the quick punish on Mikyx. Mikyx not gonna make it over the wall. So you get some good and you get some bad there. Mikyx caught out. A little sloppy on the escape, and Team Heretics donated a kill here in bottom lane.
Yeah, crucial misplay coming out from Mikyx as he fails the flash over the wall. And Heretics end up trading 1-for-1. We take stock of the game, and right now overall things are relatively even. Fnatic find themselves with a small advantage. Neutral objectives are available on the map. I wonder what the priority is going to be. Given that the bot lane is consistently traded back and forth, will it be the Dragon or will it be the Grubs? Right now, Mikyx hovering around mid lane suggests that they might be looking at the Grubs. You can see Razork hovering around his top laner as well.
Of course, anything they can get done here in mid lane would be big. It looks like it might just be the push out. We're hoping to find at least a flash from Kamiloo. The Razork now going to start this objective. But it looks like Team Heretics are ready to match here.
They are. Mikyx trying to act on zone duty right now. Should spot out Stend and the rest of Heretics.
Nice escape there. Finds the stun, both after Sjokz used. And Razork going to grab at least one. But they can't really afford to stick around. Wave not in a good spot top lane. Just now resetting means Oscar going to be late to the play. Even though he is ahead in the 1v1, it just shouldn't matter. But the smite is good. I don't think they should be able to grab 3 here. 200 health. They're going to grab all 3, Team Heretics. You talked last game about Spectator, and it's just a bit unfortunate.
An awkward affair. The root comes through onto Razork.
Razork still rooted. Fnatic still looking for the spike. Humanoid level 6. Pullback is good. Ulti good to follow as well. Double kill! Going in the blink of an eye. Humanoid kills 2. That was terrible for Team Heretics.
Upset actually ends up sniping one of them, but it should have been a double kill. He played that incredibly well. Heretics get punished on the retreat, and it ends up being, I mean, they end up getting all 3 Grubs as well.
That was, awkward is the word I'm gonna use because it feels correct. That was a little awkward. They get the first Grub, they start to walk away. Razork kind of casually walks in, smites the last one, and then Team Heretics start to retreat on the third. Fnatic are just able to grab it, but they're not far out enough, and at that point, Fnatic have really all the relevant ultimates they need to just force the fight.
I mean, Heretics thought that they were strong enough to trade, and in a situation like this, normally if you don't feel confident in your ability to fight for the Grubs, then you would just cross-map, right? You'd go for the Dragon 100%. In exchange. But as you rightly said, at this point, the Grubs have already fallen. The engage then comes through onto Razork. Carlsen isn't in range to follow through. A nice connect with the E from Humanoid into the ulti. The snipe as well, coming out from Upset, means that they secure themselves 2 kills, and there's no response from Heretics.
Upset absolutely did not need to do that. That was a gift from Humanoid. That's all I'm going to say, on a side note.
It's sharing the goal. You know,
sure. Got to make sure you maximize that assist gold pool. Fair enough. But yeah, a difficult situation. It feels like Team Heretics thought they were going to do more damage, maybe not anticipating a bit more there because, you know, Ivern, Leona, Corki against Razork at that point when he had as much health as he did just really was not enough to get the kill.
I can't blame them for thinking that they can win out on the fight. Like Corki versus Varus, I can see like pretty strong in the early game. Sure, I get the idea if you land a route onto the right target with Leona, there's a possibility. I guess in my head, it's just easier to trade for the dragon when you don't have proper setup.
This mid lane is miserable though. It might seem like a small thing, but just Humanoid having boots here makes such a big difference for him to be able to just walk in, harass, poke Kamiloo out.
Yeah, so good Hwei players. Oh, hang on a minute.
Carlsen going in, calling out Carlsen, forcing the flash. Traded for ulti now. They're not going to go for the dive or anything else, but now they have control of the bottom side. They can just go for Drake, maybe look to threaten a dive of their own on the top side, but Mikyx is already here, ready to cover if he needs to.
Zoning away Mikyx and Oscar from the tower. Root connects Mikyx.
They don't have any damage. Flaked's all their damage. Mikyx's already under tower.
Oh, they
now
turn their attention.
Oscar caught out a little bit here, trying to queue back, flashing to safety. Mikyx trying to body block what he can, but there's not really a lot that can be done. Oscar taking over to level 8 though, luckily, and
Mikyx gets 6.
Trying to get something else. TP now going in topside. Oscar locked up, gets the Q back into Sheo. Good initial burst damage, but now Mikyx's going to be in trouble. Fnatic overcommitting a bit there to try and save Oscar.
Yeah, they really wanted to get in range of that wave. You can see Mikyx now ticking over to level 6. It will cost Oscar his life, and Heretics get a kill back. They don't really convert it into much outside of that. I guess the good news is they put Oscar a little bit behind while Carlsen can freely farm on the bot side of the map. Upset going to rotate up towards mid lane to catch this wave off a Humanoid TP towards top. Grubs now spawning in about 30 seconds. With the resets coming through from both sides, they're going to want to try and grab those first major items. It's going to be so valuable.
But the only really first items completed, Unending Despair, Blackfire Torch, and a Redemption. And Redemption a little bit behind those other two, although if you have 5 people, obviously it can be insanely impactful in a fight. This is going to be a tricky one to navigate. Humanoid was already doing so much work before the item completion, and Kamiloo pretty far behind.
Valley coming through from Upset. So very much leaning towards that poke composition that we talked about in the draft. Fnatic, once again, having a lot of range, and I think the problem Heretics is going to run into later on in the game is their actual engage tools. They're very reliant on Stend.
It's true. Not something that they're used to, right? We look at their game yesterday. Sheo was making so many solid plays on the Sejuani. So much easier to get things kicked off. The Ivern, more of an enabler, less of that reliable engage threat. Sheo himself has to be careful. Has Stend to cover.
Heretics is going to start this one off.
And
no TP available for Oscar. TP is up for Carlsen. I think Fnatic, they don't have the numbers to contest this.
Looking elsewhere on the map, Upset just now able to move up. It looks like they're going to try and start the fight. Initial disengage coming in from Razork. Razork trying to lock one up. In the meantime, though, Mikyx now getting started, but a lot of skills missing. A little bit chaotic here. Ulti now coming in from Humanoid. First kill coming in. Shut down there. Stend taken out as well. Sheo, Kamiloo trying to get the kill back onto Humanoid, but the flash out is just in time. Mikyx will finally go down. Humanoid trapped in the pit with his ultimate, but getting some damage back. Upset. Where's the Q going to go? Only onto Carlsen. Razork there in the meantime. Messy back and forth fight. Upset going in to get one more. Kamiloo in trouble. The Varus should just be able to finish it. Double kill for Upset. Right next to the grub pit as Razork looks to grab all 6 grubs and complete the feats of strength.
It's a 4 versus 5, and Fnatic end up getting everything. The bot tower is getting absolutely demolished as well. Fnatic able to outplay Heretics and get away with murder.
The fact that they also get 6 grubs and now bottom tower.
Yep. They get everything. Fnatic get absolutely everything.
And that's a backbreaker. It shouldn't be, but this early in the game, when you win a 4v5, look at the gold lead. It's 12 minutes, it's 4,500 lead for Fnatic. I think most of these matchups are going to feel really bad for at least the next 10 minutes. This is so hard for Team Heretics to play.
I think the biggest difference is mid right now. And that's not to say that Kamiloo is inherently doing anything wrong. It's just Viktor versus Hwei at this point in the game. They're just such different power levels. Keep your eyes on Humanoid as the fight plays out. So Razork is going to be the target focus. At this point, it's a 3 versus 3. Flakked has an ability to do a lot of damage, but he gets focused down, chain CC'd, and then look at the damage that comes through from Humanoid here. Flakked gets absolutely melted, Stend is taken out of the fight, and now it is a 4v3, but we have to cut back to live.
Razork starting off with the ulti. Stend going to do what he can to body block. Kamiloo going to backstep, not to get caught. They should be able to escape. Stend might be sacrificed here. Likely to be. Sheo, Redemption, giving a bit more health. Finish is there. Again, Team Heretics just too damn weak. Ulti now coming in. Mikyx gonna fall with an ulti of his own. Kamiloo just no room to play. Desperation all to at least clear the way, but Fnatic merciless. We saw this pace of game against Vitality yesterday. It looks like they're trying to keep it the same in day 3.
Mikyx dragging Kamiloo back into the lane with the Rell ultimate. Absolutely showing no mercy as Fnatic find themselves more kills. Mikyx now dancing a little bit with Sheo as Upset looks to secure more plates. But things are very quickly falling apart for Heretics. What started out as a promising early game is very quickly falling apart into disarray. 14 minutes hit, tower plating falling off. And Atakan will... Wait, is this?
Are we gonna get...
No.
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 13 kills, is that enough?
I don't think it is.
There's no way. This is, I've heard this, that you just can't get this.
Yeah, I don't think
I've never seen it.
I don't think there's been enough violence. I know that your damage done in the game can also contribute to it, but I don't know what that threshold is.
That's one of those things that, you know, I tried with Kane forever ago to like learn the math on how everything works. I asked internally, someone explained it to me, my eyes glazed over, and I said, you know what, I'm good. I'll just repeat what you write in the patch notes and say it's, you know, it's magic. There's a little, you know, fairy in a back room that just decides what's gonna spawn.
Don't piss off that fairy.
Just happens to really love the hungry version of Atakan. Does not want to see Atakan get fed.
Dragon available. A lot of members on the top side of the map for Heretics. And Hwei being in the bot lane, bullying Carlsen out of the 1v1 with Razork hovering in the fog of war means that this Renekton has to play respectfully. The poke from Upset is ruthless as Flakked gets chipped down.
You just can't walk forward. You don't have great vision coverage. You don't have enough damage to burst through Upset's health bar. Stend now in trouble. All the rest of his team is recalling. Kamiloo now moving over to cover. In the meantime, Fnatic are also grabbing an objective at the same time. And this is the thing, when you're this far behind, you don't have to commit all 5 members to do anything. It's so easy for Fnatic to have their cake and eat it too. Uh-oh. Sheo. That's not your jungle anymore. Long range root, immediate follow-up. Redemption will get a little bit of health back, but the Q out from Razork to deny that initial healing. Carlsen now trying to follow up on a Humanoid. Humanoid could be in trouble. This would be a big shutdown, but already the first kill goes down. The rest of Team Heretics scrambling to cover, but Mikyx might just look for the engage. Upset over the wall, does have ulti available if they want to keep this one going. Nice snipe from Upset means he's on a rampage. 4-0-4. The opposition left wanting as Oscarinin take down the top lane tower too, and we've seen this before. Big team fight, 4v5, while Oscar takes the tower.
I mean, ultimately, Heretics have fallen short in this game due to their skirmishes around the grubs, and Fnatic have played better in both circumstances, and Heretics now find themselves wanting as they find themselves in such a massive deficit. There's a 2k gold lead between the two mid laners, a 2k gold difference between the AD carries, and a 1.8k, my eyes don't deceive me, between the top laners. I mean, there's even a 1.1k between the junglers. Like, everything is just crumbling for Heretics. It's very difficult for them to really turn this game around. They're going to need some crazy fights, but again, we turn back to some of the compositional struggles that they're going to run into, which is Heretics are very reliant on this Leona for the engage. Maybe if Carlsen can find a nice flank, there's opportunities, but Fnatic just have so much distance that they can play with.
Mikyx Q flash into the W, hit confirming there, and Kamiloo, sadly, for what feels like the 3rd time in a row, just forced to ult defensively to try to get a bit of damage back.
And there's no cross map. He ends up just overstaying on the bot side of the map. Fnatic could reset back out. They're going to be able to push in this bot wave, gain full control over the bot side jungle. I thought initially, that they were going to set their sights on the bot tier 2, but there is Herald alive. Looks like they're not going to turn their attention to it immediately, though, as they look to try and steal away some camps.
Really just taking their time here again. Anyone caught a little bit out of position is an instantaneous kill. And this is a unique scenario we haven't seen a lot this season thus far, where Fnatic are so wildly far ahead that it is difficult to push the game forward in a meaningful way once you knock down these tier 2s.
Goodness, yeah, they're just
Razork. Bit of poke, Stend now firing back. Upset's ult's gonna trigger onto Carlsen, locking him down. Kamiloo there, but again, he used his ult in the previous play. Humanoid gonna fire his ult out. Carlsen now in trouble. They don't have quite enough damage to finish the kill, but they're just taking pot shots. They're not scared at all.
Carlsen is just dying, and what can he do? There's absolutely no option for him as he's being chipped away at from someone that's not even on his screen.
And again, it's a 4v5 because Oscar lives top lane. He took it to heart when we said it's a 4v4 game with a side quest. He does not need to be involved in any of this. And frankly, that's great. It's working out incredibly well for Fnatic because they're continuing to accumulate gold even as they scrap in the bottom lane.
Yeah, my man is playing PvE right now. been involved in one of the team's 12 kills. That doesn't mean he has been useless in this game. As
Strong
Flakked,
pressure point is Flakked. Yeah,
at this point, I mean, what's there to say? Team Heretics are just making blunder after blunder now, overstaying in the lane, easy kills for Fnatic as they just pick them apart.
And this is, I mean, this is such a difficult position for rookies to be in, right? Obviously, with the ERLs, you get more of a chance to practice at a deficit because you've had these stage games and stage experiences, but this kind of deficit, really tough to do anything. The math is just stacked against you, even if you play perfect. A lot of situations where you could have found an advantage or killed a support just don't exist anymore.
So, with the Halo Blades there, the idea is you quickly apply those Blight stacks, follow it up with the Q for massive damage.
Also Swift March, so nice for Varus. This Humanoid absolutely has no business being there, side note. If he did not have a 10,000 gold lead on his team, he would 100% die for being that far forward.
That's why he's doing it, Drakos.
Very
he
true.
has the ultimate from the Maokai to zone them away.
Kamiloo locked up. Chalk Blast from just so far away.
Turn their attention back towards the objective, and I mean, what else is there to say? Fnatic systematically dismantling Heretics, taking down all the tier 2 towers. I like their ruthless efficiency. They're not wasting any time. They're immediately turning their attention onto the tier 2s. They're knowing that they're stronger. And now with Atakan on the map, they can set their sights on the objective.
And this is, yeah, this is the kind of game where if Fnatic make a lot of mistakes, Team Heretics go late enough, there are some angles, but they're just so few and far between. It's feeling more like in history class when you learn about technological advances. At Team Heretics, they got swords, Fnatic got guns. Team Heretics finally got guns, Fnatic have artillery, and you're not winning. You're just a step behind in the tech tree right now, and I don't think there's any coming back from that.
In an age of empires, it's all about
pikemen.
No, Pike's not in this game.
Oh yeah, fair. Execute was last game.
It's about painters.
This I like though. Okay, I'm just gonna say, a lot of people, whether this goes right or wrong, you have to do wacky stuff when you're this far behind. You're not coming back on a normal play. He does know. Oh, we spotted 2.
Yeah.
Oh, the jig is up. Time to get out. Oh no, Mickey. Oh, okay.
All right, Heretics get away to safety.
Well, it's not a perfect game at the very least. But Mickey has continued the trend of randomly dying in the first 5 levels and then playing a pretty good game of League of Legends.
Yes, he has. Fnatic not going to start Atakan off just yet. Reset's going to come through quickly. But Heretics don't know that because they don't have any wards, so they are worried a little bit that this objective is being started.
They're going to check. They see that no one is there, but they're going to stay, maybe, because there's nowhere else for them to go.
The problem is, they need to reset.
They have no wards left. Yeah, they have no wards, and also mid lane's coming in and bot lane's coming in. Renekton's at least there to grab 1.
So now all the vision gets cleared out. They're going to quickly reset, get back out onto the map, and then they start feeling stressed again because, well, I mean, to be fair, they still have that control ward at the very least. But this is the idea from Fnatic, just suffocation. You know, I thought that was a Baron alive, but Rift Herald, of course, still sticking around.
I think Fnatic might try to time it up for the 3-piece combo where you go Herald into Otacon into Baron.
Ah, yeah, the classic.
The rarely seen, the 3-nugget meal.
By the way, good luck face-checking this, Heretics. Yeah.
I mean, Razork has free vision. The part of the map that you should be able to control, you can't at all. And then even when you have a little bit of prio, Fnatic still see there, or at least as much as they need to.
These comps are just so oppressive when they're this far ahead because you need to force and engage against this type of poke, and you just can't. They just chip away at you every time you try to get a bit of vision.
And this is one of the things about Leona that I don't like as much, even though she has a lot of strengths, is doesn't have that 5
Razork's going all in.
Razork at least rooted to stop any further follow-up. Body block, a bit of healing coming in from the Redemption, but Oscarinin over the wall, going to do a bit. Mickey now following up the combo. Humanoid there to do the damage. Upset there as well. Easy for the carries. His Upset's just speeding through. That's the opportunity movement speed. Fine with that Ghost Blade. Double kill now. Fnatic haven't lost anybody yet, and it's 2 down on the side of Team Heretics.
Combos are lethal as well. Rell plus Hwei. Oh, yeah. Walked into a brush that you did not have vision of. Upset goes godlike.
They're going to get this 3-piece combo. But
they are going to get the 3-piece combo.
I think it's I'm going to say first time in competitive history. Don't know. Haven't watched an FLP or LCK. It was the first time I've seen it. Herald into Otacon, probably base, walk back, get Baron. Surely there's nothing that Team Heretics could do to stop this.
I mean, surely Fnatic can't throw this, right? Gaedril, don't say anything. We look back at this team fight.
Yeah, Team Heretics fans, this one's for you.
Yeah.
Surely they can't throw.
Look at the wombo combo here. Great engage from Mikyx, followed up with the Humanoid ultimate. Upset, couldn't quite steal a kill from Humanoid this time around. Ends up getting the double. Uh-oh, Kamiloo, he's in danger.
Upset flash forward. Aggressive use of the cooldowns, and down he goes. Now the base defense is going to be that much harder, and Kamiloo behind anonymization, but might have been able to clear out some of these waves. That said, Baron's still not up. Sheo probably dead here.
I think he's dead, yeah.
Summons Daisy. A million pieces of
getting
poke
killed off
from
screen.
sources that he cannot see. Nice Q back, though. He did get tricky with it. Credit to him. If they weren't turbo far ahead, that would have been the kind of movement that would have kept him alive.
What an absolute slaughter from Fnatic. This is the level of play that I think Fnatic fans were hoping to see. They were a little concerned after day one, but they bounced back strong. 2-1 is going to be how they round out their first week of the LEC as Mikyx sets his sights on the Nexus turrets.
Nexus now likely to fall. Really nothing Team Heretics can do. Might not even be a consolation kill available for them, especially as the buff remains on the Fnatic lineup. False life there, available. Fnatic are not going to drop a member in this siege. They might send a few members back to base, but as long as they hit the Nexus, they shouldn't lose anybody. Finally, one false life buff down. They're killing them in the fountain. 2 have now withdrawn. Flakked likely to fall as well. One more. Q going in. Fnatic chance starting.
I mean, this is just bullying.
This is bullying. They're being cyberbullied. There it is. Fnatic win the game. Well played across the board. Team Heretics crossed that precipice. The gold lead was too big. Options did not exist anymore. Fnatic played it out cleanly to bring home the win.
I mean, Heretics, expectations relatively low considering a rookie roster.
Sure.
Against a roster like Fnatic, they were never considered the favorites, and Fnatic came in swinging. You can vote for your key player of the game, Razork, Humanoid, or Upset, all very valid options. I think the whole team had a fantastic performance. And yeah, this is the Fnatic that I think many fans wanted to see. They end their weekend 2-1.
Yep, improvements from day to day, certainly. A lot of dominance. And excited to see where we go in the weeks to come, but certainly a solid start. For now, though, we're going to go to a quick break, and afterwards, Sjokz is standing by with the victorious upset.